All right, today we're going to break down a piece of tech that, honestly, signals a massive shift in how developers are going to work with AI. It's called Google Antigravity, and let's be clear, this is not just another smarter autocomplete. We're talking about a fundamental change, moving from an AI that's just an assistant to one that's a full-on teammate.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the limits of the AI tools we're all using right now. Then, we'll dive into this new agent-first philosophy that Antigravity is built on. After that, we'll look under the hood at how it actually works, talk about the tricky trust issues it brings up, and finally, ask what this all means for the future of being a developer. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around why anti-gravity is such a big deal, we have to start with the world we're in right now. You know, the world of tools like GitHub Copilot that have become a part of our daily workflow.
This quote from Google's own research just nails the current situation perfectly. Right now, our AI tools are basically autocomplete on steroids. Yeah, they speed things up, they write boilerplate for us, but at the end of the day, we are still in the driver's seat, making every single decision, one line of code at a time.
And this slide gets to the heart of the problem. It's this idea of synchronous versus asynchronous. Today's tools are all synchronous. The AI is literally tethered to your cursor. It waits for you, it reacts to you. Anti-gravity flips that script entirely. It's built for asynchronous work, where you can give the AI a job and it just goes off and does it on its own.
And because of that synchronous model, there's a hard limit, a glass ceiling. The AI can only go as fast as you can read and approve its suggestions. You're constantly having to check its work, which is a huge mental load, and you can only do one thing at a time. Need to build a new feature while refactoring some old messy module? Nope. You have to pick one. The AI can't just go handle the other task for you in the background.
Okay, so that's the problem. And this is where things get really interesting. Google's answer isn't just a slightly better tool. It's a completely new philosophy they're calling an agent-first architecture. It's a total pivot.
So what does that even mean? Well, think of it this way. This isn't a tool you use anymore, it's a framework for managing a team of digital workers. The AI gets promoted from assistant to autonomous agent. You don't tell it what to type. You give it a mission, and it figures out the plan, the execution, and the revisions all by itself.
And you can see how this totally changes your job, right? It's a real evolution. We're moving away from being the person who writes every single semicolon. Our role is becoming more of an architect, designing the big picture, and then a manager, overseeing this new team of AI agents that handle the nitty-gritty implementation.
To make this all work, Antigravity literally splits the screen in two. On one side, you've still got a familiar code editor, because yeah, sometimes you got to get your hands dirty. But the main event is the Agent Manager. It looks less like an IDE and more like a mission control dashboard, where you launch tasks and monitor your AI agent's progress. Your job shifts from typing code to orchestrating work. All right, let's pop the hood and see how this thing actually works. What are the key pieces that make this whole idea of an autonomous AI agent even possible?
Okay, this is one of the biggest innovations, I think. Instead of just getting a fire hose of code changes, the agent gives you what they call artifacts. These are structured, easy-to-digest updates. It'll give you an implementation plan before it starts coding, and then show you visual proof, like actual screenshots or screen recordings of the finished feature.
Now, why is this so important? Because it solves the black box problem. You're not trying to decipher 1,000 lines of code to figure out what the AI did. It's more like getting a pull request from a junior developer. You review the plan, you look at the visual results, and you give feedback. It's a conversation, and that's absolutely crucial for building trust.
Okay, but that raises a huge question, right? How does the AI know that the code it just wrote actually, works in a real application?
And the answer is something called the agentic browser, which is just wild. This is not a simple preview pane, it's a full-blown Chrome browser that the AI has complete control over. It can click buttons, it can fill out forms, it can even open the dev tools and check for console errors. It basically runs its own end-to-end tests to debug its own code, all automatically.
So what's the magic making all of this possible? Underneath it all is the Gemini 3 model, and the key number here is its context window, over 1 million tokens. To put that in perspective, that's like being able to read a massive novel in a single glance. And what that giant context window enables is something that researchers call whole program reasoning. This is a game changer. It means the agent isn't just looking at the one file you have open, it can ingest your entire code base, the front end, the back end, the database schema, all of it at the same time. It understands how all the pieces fit together, which should drastically cut down on silly mistakes.
Of course, giving an AI this much power and autonomy, well, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There are some serious risks involved, which brings us to the very real, practical challenges of actually working this way. Antigravity tries to manage this with something called execution policies. Think of it like a safety dial that you, the human, control. You can set it to off, where you have to approve every single action the AI takes, super safe but slow. Or you can crank it all the way up to turbo and just let the agent run wild. It's this constant negotiation between speed and safety.
And people using this early are definitely hitting some walls. The biggest complaint is the rate limit wall. All that deep thinking the AI does burns through API credits like crazy. But then there's the psychological stuff, that uncanny valley of trusting an agent that is incredibly smart but has absolutely zero common sense. It's a weird feeling to delegate to something so powerful yet so alien.
All right, for our last section, let's zoom all the way out. What does this technology really mean for who we are as software engineers? How does Antigravity actually stack up against the other tools out there?
This table just lays out the philosophical divide perfectly. On one side, you've got tools like Cursor. Their whole goal is to augment the coder, to make you a faster, more efficient typist. They help you stay in the flow. Antigravity is playing a totally different game. It isn't built for the coder, it's built for the architect, the commander, the person whose job is to delegate and manage outcomes, not hammer out every line of code.
And this is leading to this awesome term some people have started using, vibe coding. It's this idea that your primary value is no longer just your technical skill, but your ability to clearly express intent and vision, the vibe. In plain English, you describe what you want, and the agent figures out how to build it.
Look, this technology is still really new, it's still raw, but it forces every single one of us to ask a really profound question about our own future. As these AI agents get more and more capable, what will our primary role be? Are we going to be coders, carefully crafting syntax by hand? Or are we going to become commanders, leading teams of digital agents to build things? That's the big question Antigravity is forcing us to confront.